Hello everyone, my name's Dean. On the internet, I'm known as Twisty3. And, well, this is kind of old news, but I figured because it's round one, let's give you some football news. We're getting a new AFL video game. And this is huge news because, of course, the last couple of years we had Evo 2 come out during the start of the pandemic in 2020. There was a DLC for that last year. But now, things have changed and it is going to be very different. Because as teased here by Mr. Roscoe Simons of Big Ant Studios, he's put a little 5-second teaser here going, I've got a feeling, and pretty much it plays Holy Grail, which for those who aren't aware, is sort of a football anthem, and it was also a song included on the first AFL Live video game, which was of course made by Big Ant Studios. Then in another throwback to that, the I've got a feeling was also what used to be used to announce the video games when they were coming out. It was like the day before they would announce that there was a new AFL game. They'd be like, I've got a feeling, and then they would announce it. Then, of course, this was retweeted by Big Ant Studios, which is, of course, run by Ross as well, who said, and just like that, Ross letting the Cats, Lions, Tigers, etc. out of the bag. Which means this is revealing that we have a new AFL game. Obviously, Cats, Geelong, Lions, Brisbane, Tigers, Richmond. New footy game coming. And it's exciting news because it's Big Ant Studios. It's coming back to the team that made AFL Live 1, although I'm sure not a lot of those people who worked on that game would still be at Big Ant Studios, because that's 10 years. That's a long time. Or 11 or 12 years. That's a long time for anyone to work at a single job. So it would still be a lot of passionate people about football, and hopefully lots of sports passionate people involved on making this game. I would not be giving you this video if I didn't have some more solid information to tell you about this beautiful game. And it's provided by the man himself, Ross, on Big Footy, because he loves to spill the tea. So let's get some of the information that we can hope to expect to see in AFL 2023. Now that's right, because the game is not actually going to be coming out this year. It will not be out this year. I'm hoping it will be out next year. But there was a post here by the Big Ant Studios account on Big Footy, and it said, I'm loath to give too much away at this point, but also don't want to lead people on. The game will not make this year. The good news is that means we can take the Big Footy community and hopefully the broader community on the dev journey with us, and like last time, have a fair amount of back and forth with meaningful and material input to the game. So it means we're going to be listening to a bunch of people of the community while building this game, which I think is a great thing to do. And for sure, getting community input on games, where you see tons of games these days have betas or alphas or lots of feedback and things like that. And this is a great way to do it. So very exciting, because in the past, a lot of these decisions have been sort of behind closed doors. They've been very hush-hush, and that's been a very publisher-driven decision, which leads us to our next post, which is that Big Ant have said that this time they are the team with the rights to the AFL game, which is great news, because I always think that sometimes with a developer and a publisher, and we see this a lot with EA and Activision, that the development team has a very different vision to what the broader publisher wants. You know, they want like microtransactions and as monetizable as the games as possible, where the dev teams just want to make the best game they can. And so previously we saw with Wicked Witch, they were working under the publisher of True Blue, which obviously would have had their own vision in mind for what they wanted in the game. So this is great. The rights will sit entirely with the publisher / developer for the first time ever, being Big Ant Studios. Obviously they were bought out by Nacon as well last year, but there's another post here that Ross says that Nacon are allowing them to run sort of their own ship, which is fantastic news, and especially given that they are an overseas company, will allow Big Ant to just go with the flow. They are based in Melbourne, and it is a team that is passionate about sport, especially Ross. You know, he's at the football every week, much like myself, and just loves the game. So it's huge. Now, some other minor things to get you excited. All of the player creator or the creator stuff that you've seen in cricket games, in AO tennis stuff, will be coming across to this brand new AFL game when it comes out. And I think that is one of the biggest advantages that Big Ant have, is they've got this base of sports games in their arsenal, which allow them to bring a lot of that stuff and a lot of that code across to their different projects. You know, we're going to have this opportunity to have these super good likenesses that are community driven, creations like we've seen in their cricket games in the past, where especially Cricket 19 and now Cricket 22, where you can have that face technology in there, and it comes with some really, really good results for the players that aren't licensed. And this will mean that people will be able to make, hopefully, retro teams using old photos of those retro players to really get some really quality old school teams in there. And I think that's great. Which will also mean, we're going to have the exact same kit creator that you would have seen in those cricket games and in the tennis games as well. So we're going to be able to make a bajillion Guernseys, whether it's through PlayStation, PC, Xbox. All of it is going to be shareable across the different platforms. You love to see that as well, because one thing we know about licensing with older Guernseys and styles like that is you obviously can't have different sponsors and things like that. And this will allow people to be able to make those old kits with the old logos and really get that retro vibe as well through the player creator and the Guernsey creator and the kit creator and all of this stuff that they've got. In the cricket game, they also have like a match type creator where you can sort of customize your own match types. I wonder if that's going to be brought across. You can create your own competition or your own tournament or tour. I wonder if that is going to be brought across, because that is going to be something that could be really, really cool if you can create your own sort of 8 to 10 team competition, or even a 20 team competition. And just see how that would play out. It would, give you your own fixture, and you can play these ridiculous competitions if you really wanted to. Basically, the customization that Big Ant have in these games is great, and I think that it is going to allow for so much to be able to be done from a player point of view. And of course, the scenario mode, that'll come across. That'll be great too. And the last thing in those creation tools that we haven't really spoken about is the Stadium Creator, which in AFL games we have not seen for a number of years. Stadiums with different ground dimensions, being obviously Geelong is a lot skinnier, Sydney is a lot smaller. So we're going to see that as well, because I don't know if you've played Cricket 22, but obviously the various stadiums across Australia will have various boundary sizes, and across the world different shapes and sizes depending on the stands and things like that. And I think that once again we're going to get more variety based on that. And again, you can do whatever you want, because it is player creator driven as well as what is going to be in the game. So very exciting stuff. Something that excites me the most about this is that AFL Live 1 had the strongest online experience in an AFL game that we've ever seen. And I know that I spent probably more hours playing games online there than I have for quite a lot of other games in my library. Look, you're probably not going to hear anything about this game for a long period of time, maybe not even till the preseason next year, so we'll probably just be a little bit quiet on that front. But maybe we'll do a little check-in every sort of month or two and just see what's going on the forums with Ross and the Big Ant team, and as to what they're sort of looking at and sort of input and things like that, because I think it could be a really good way for the community to get involved and be able to have meaningful discussions with the developers in that way. And I think that's a great thing, because I think feedback is one of the strongest things that you can do with anything, because you always are going to be able to get the best result by having a lot of people go, well, this is why this is not a good idea. But you might find the diamond in the rough that you go, that's the one I think that could work. So we'll see what happens, but a brand new AFL game coming next year. Big Ant Studios at the helm. Quite exciting stuff. But that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the football. It's been so good to have the footy back. Well done to the Blues for beating my team, the Tigers, on Thursday night. GG's all around. They were great as well. See you guys soon.